Yo, what's up? Welcome to This Is Not a Preaching Podcast, episode 2. It's David from Amigos TV. I'm glad you're here. Pull up a chair, brother, sister. Grab a coffee. Grab a sparkling water. I don't know. What's up? How's everybody's week? How's your 2024 been going? Done anything cool? Watch any good movies or music lately? On today's episode, last week we talked about using your voice, using your instrument of a voice, screaming louder, softer. These things matter. Today I want to talk to you about finding beauty in the world, in life. Again, this series is just about things that I'm thinking about for young preachers, teachers of the word that I don't think gets talked about enough, or questioning some things. And I don't think enough young preachers are looking for beauty in the world through story, through music, through film, through art. I think we are living in an age and in a time where we're just taking stuff in, right? Through what I'm looking for is social media, but I only thought about it in Spanish. Redes sociales. I don't know why. That's funny. We're just constantly taking stuff in, and we don't ever absorb beauty for beauty's sake. Right? We will watch enough TikTok content that is enough for a really good movie. But obviously, watching Martin Scorsese, is that how you say his name correctly? I don't know. Watching my dog MS, that would be, that's weird to call him MS. Watching my dog Marty S, there you go, that's a good one. Direct a movie for 2 hours, 2.5 or 250 for the last movie is way different than scrolling through TikTok for 2 hours, 3 hours. Does that make sense? And so we don't have the capacity anymore to take in beauty. And so we don't put out beauty. Does that make sense? And so I want for you to fight, to struggle, to wrestle with finding beauty in your world, whatever that looks like. The ways that I have fought for this, I just gave you those examples, is through music, through movie, even just calling movies cinema. That's extra, but I love it. Going out of your way to watch a sunset or a sunrise. Here goes the best way to do it. Put your phone up, grab 3 or 4 friends, and decide, this weekend we're going to drive to the Grand Canyon. Okay? Get 3 or 4 friends and go, I don't know where you live. If you live like in New York or something, this might be a little difficult. But if you live in the south region of Texas, LOL. If you live in the south region of the United States, the Grand Canyon can be anywhere from 10 to 20 hours for you. Grab 4 friends and go, dude, if we divide this, we all only need to drive 5 hours. We'll sleep in the car. Like, let's pack snacks. Let's leave tonight. Everybody go home. We're going to leave in 2 hours. Grab what you need to grab. We're going to download music on our phones, and we're going to turn our phones off. We'll turn them on if something crazy happens. We're just going to drive to the Grand Canyon, and we're going to see it for a sunrise or for a sunset. And when I did this with friends, this is why I know what I'm talking about. Your brain cannot comprehend looking out into the Grand Canyon. The colors, the vastness, the beauty, like your brain is stuttering, trying to comprehend what you're seeing. We have lost the art of that in the current world that we live in. We would rather see that through our phone. And look, obviously there's nothing wrong with social media. We post on social media. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We are a part of this. This is a part of the society that we live in. But being able to step away from that and finding true beauty, I think as a preacher does something to you that ultimately brings out the beauty of God in your preaching. And if you do not fight for these things, if you don't provide the space and the time in your life to see these things and do these things, then I think that you're going to miss out on the beauty of God for yourself and then ultimately in your preaching. And so if you're leading young people, if you're a youth pastor, you can't really talk about the beauty of God without yourself experiencing beauty in your life. And so we have to, myself, I struggle with this too. Fight for listening and seeing and being around beauty in our lives on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. What is something this week that you can do to see beauty? A sunset, a sunrise. That's an easy way. So go, this week, I'm going to see a sunrise, at least one. This month, I'm going to see a sunset and a sunrise this month. This year, and then do a big one. This year, I'm going to watch all the best movies that came out. This year, I'm going to listen to some jazz albums. Get really into jazz. That'll help you. That's helped me a lot. And if you do not go out of your way to seek and find beauty and prepare your life and your heart and your eyes and your mind for beauty, I think you truly miss out on the beauty of God. Psalms 23:6 says, surely God's goodness and beauty and love will follow me all the days of my life. If I don't know beauty, I cannot recognize beauty. And so in our preaching, and I think ultimately in our lives as Jesus followers, if we do not go out of our way to seek beauty and movies, music does this, man. I love music like so much. And I'm really into, I'm going to cry right now. I'm really into hardcore. Oh man. And I got to go, there's a hardcore band called Strange Joy. Shout out Strange Joy. They're from Houston. They're a local band and they put out a EP and they did a show during the holidays and I got to go and oh my gosh, it was so much fun and it was so beautiful. Just hardcore is a really young thing. Like it's got mad young energy, young bands, young people do it. And just the energy and the music, it was in a parking lot and there was like 300 just people there, just jumping on top of each other, singing the song, listening to this music that these dudes made together. That to me is so beautiful. That is so freaking cool to me. And because I experienced that and I got to live in that and I didn't just see it on my phone, I think that that does something to my heart and to my mind and to my life that ultimately reflects and lets me see God's beauty even better, which then lets me preach and teach God's beauty and goodness even better. And so be intentional about seeking beauty in your life. Be intentional of not only seeking beauty in your life, but creating beauty, right? One of the things that I have hugely written down in my house, a wall that I always look at is create more than you consume. And so we are constant consumers, but I want to create. I want to see beauty in my life to then reflect beauty in my life. And I think you will fall short ultimately as a follower of Jesus, but especially as a preacher of God's word, if you don't seek out and enjoy beauty. Dude, sitting down, like one of my favorite coffee shops is a coffee shop in Houston. And I love it because it looks mad ghetto. It's in the middle of a ghetto neighborhood. It's like, it looks run down. Friends joke that it looks like un lugar donde venden elotes, like they just sell like Hispanic Mexican snacks, but they have the best coffee. And on top of that, not only does it taste great, not only are they roasting the best beans, they have incredible service that when I'm sitting down to enjoy a pour over or an espresso, it is a beautiful experience. And it heightens the coffee. It heightens going there. I'm willing to drive an hour to go have their coffee Not only because it's good, but because it's like this experience. And that makes my life better because it's so beautiful. I need to take that in because then I can explain that. And to me, all of this ties into God. Because I had this beautiful experience with coffee, because they're putting out the best coffee in the best way, that sparks something in my life and in my heart to go, dude, if in this broken world there somebody can care this much about coffee, somebody can love the presentation and the taste so much, then I gotta love the taste and the presentation about God. Yeah? Does that make sense? And so you have to fight for beauty in your life. Go out of your way to fight for beauty and seeing beauty in your life. Listen to Miles Davis Kind of Blue on some really good speakers or headphones. You know that feeling. Rappers talk about this all the time. The car check where they made a beat or they made a song and then they get in their car and then they like turn it up to vibe with it, to feel it. That's what we're fighting for. That sitting in the car feeling of like, yo, this is life. And the more that you experience beauty, the more that you stack beauty, I think ultimately shows you more beauty in God and in his word. And it helps us bring the words of God to life. And so, yes, we want to study the Bible well. We want to know about hermeneutics. We want to know about historical context, but all of that will fall short if you yourself do not experience and see and fight for beauty. So figure out, make that a discipline in your life. If you're into music, if you're into movies, if you're into photography, whatever it is, fight for and see that beauty in your ordinary life. And then that'll make the spiritual part of our aspect of our life extraordinary, because if we can find it in the ordinary, it just makes everything else even better. Fight and find beauty in your everyday life to see the beauty of God in our everyday life. Peace. Follow us, migostv.co. Subscribe to the channel if this has been helpful for you. Follow us on Instagram. If any of this is helping you out, send it to a friend, comment. We'll see what's in store for episode 3. Follow along, Amigos TV, YouTube, social medias, amigostv.co for the ebook and the preaching course. See you guys next week. I forgot to say next what?